Beauty is the state of being beautiful. Standard is the level of quality or achievement that is acceptable. So, beauty standard should be the state of beauty that is acceptable. Beauty standards are the ideals and perception of beauty that society and culture place on people. They determine what is considered beautiful and can include height, weight, facial proportion, and body shape. But society and social norms are ever changing. So is the beauty standard. Buying the trendiest beauty products, going to Pilates class because skinny is trendy, or get a boob job and a BBL because being thick is trending. It is quite exhausting to keep up with these trends. But what happens when that beauty standard is a part of your resume? What happens when the beauty standard becomes a part of your identity? Does such messed up job even exist? The answer is yes. And it's Hollywood and every other entertainment industry in the world. And Hollywood's new body obsession is extremely skinny body. And everybody's talking about it. Hi, and welcome to my channel. If you like deep dive videos, make sure to stay because we're about to dive deep into this mess. Before we understand Hollywood's new body obsession, we have to understand beauty standards and its impact. Growing up, we all heard the phrase, beauty is pain. But why? It's because people, most of the time women, are expected to go through extreme measures to change their body or face or both to be desirable. And it's not a new thing. Think about the old tradition of women in Myanmar artificially elongating their neck or Chinese tradition of foot binding. Both of these methods are painful, and the worst part is that these beauty methods are started when girls are as young as 4 years old, preparing toddlers so they can be desirable as young women. Does that not sound dystopian to you? Beauty standards force us to look at girl toddlers as future young women and not as children. Today, these methods are frowned upon and illegal for being abusive, but are they that far off from intentionally starving yourself to the point of the body almost shutting off? There was a time when women literally used to eat tapeworm eggs so a parasite would consume the host calorie intake, allowing for the weight loss without any dietary restrictions. This often led to malnourishment, bowel distress, and a lot of the time, death. And we cannot forget about the 2000s body trend dominated by bone skinny tall supermodels. As Kate Moss's famous quote goes, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. It shows how much being skinny was worshipped to the point eating became optional. Today, we're seeing the same theme, just different method. Again, skinny is back, and it's a lot more severe than it was ever before. People are literally having skin and bones. Their rib cages are visible. This is not a sign of a body with fast metabolism. This is malnourishment. This is starvation. Tate McRae and Lola Tung are now considered one of the heavy celebrities. This reminds me of the time when Victoria's Secret introduced Barbara Palvin as a plus-size model. This woman was considered as plus-size back when Victoria's Secret still had their iconic glow-ups, but Hollywood's pushing the same agenda onto us over again. Magazines and articles are calling malnourished bodies as toned and healthy bodies as heavy-sided. It's about time young teens and adults start seeing these problematic bodies as body goals. Celebrities are followed on Twitter and Instagram by millions of followers. They self-document their lives, which in turn gets romanticized by the media and idealized by youngest generation. Psychotherapist Caroline Carroll said beauty ideals are learned through repetition. When very thin bodies become increasingly visible and celebrated, they start to feel normal, desirable, or even necessary. For someone vulnerable to an eating disorder, that can reinforce the belief that becoming smaller will bring approval, beauty, success, control, or acceptance. To the younger generation, being fat will simply be having a normal BMI, which is destructive. If you have made it this far, consider liking and sharing this video, and subscribe if you want more of these kind of videos. Unrealistic and unhealthy media portrayals of female body can lead young girls to feel insecure about their own body. The dissatisfaction from their own body can lead to mental health issues like depression, anxiety, social isolation, and eating disorders. How we see our body and beauty and ourselves determines our perspective of the world. Running after unhealthy, unrealistic beauty standards shapes our perspective of the world as toxic and abusive, which affects our day-to-day life and even what kind of relationship we have with others, which is even more messed up if you think about it. The destruction has already been started because the amount of inspo TikTok I get on my FYP is astronomical. And Twitter has a whole genre of tweets called ED tweets, where people share images or videos of disturbingly thin girls. These images and videos get romanticized and idealized, and most of the users, especially on TikTok, are teenagers. They are romanticizing being malnourished as we speak. A study found out watching just 8 minutes of TikTok content focused on dieting, weight loss, and exercise can have a negative effect on body image satisfaction. Those exposed to pro-Ana content are found to have a huge decline in body image satisfaction. They also experience an increase in internalization of beauty standards. Internalization happens when someone accepts and identifies with external beauty standards. Exposure to harmful social media content doesn't always result in harm. It's when this content is internalized that body image is likely to suffer. In every red carpet video, every TikTok, we're now seeing celebrities looking thinner and thinner. This video does not body shame anyone, but we need to speak out about the negative impact these Hollywood celebrities are having on today's kids. Edits of these celebrities are circulating all over the internet. These edits are getting idolized by young girls. And TikTok and Twitter has really low restriction on what content an user is consuming. Even without searching, I came across the contents of celebrities and influencers that promote thinness on my FYP. Look at Jenna Ortega showing her costume from the Wednesday series, which she did phenomenally, by the way, but was it necessary to do the body checking? In these videos, these young women are clearly doing the body check-in. Such videos are definitely going to affect the perception of body image of the teenager who's watching this. Studies show users spend an hour and 37 minutes on TikTok every day globally. The damage these kids are getting from such exposure is going to affect them potentially for the rest of their lives if we don't talk about it now. But the biggest question is, why is skinny trending again? If we think about it, we have the answer already. We are naturally drawn to things that are rare, things that are harder to achieve. Think about how hourglass body shape is more desirable than rectangular body shape. It's not that rectangular body isn't pretty. It's just that it's the most common body type. Way too abandoned compared to natural hourglass body type that only 0.8% of the population can possess. It's a flex to wear a rare diamond on your finger. Thinking about how it was possessed becomes a second thought. The Birkin bag's entire appeal is the scarcity. You cannot buy it. You have to earn it through your loyalty to the brand. And this is how rich and famous people set themselves apart from regular people. Whatever becomes scarce becomes the trend, because if you have them, you are part of the upper echelon of the society. Same goes with body trends as well. In the Regency era, it was considered beautiful to be chubby because having access to high-calorie food like meat and butter was a luxury. It set the rich and the poor apart. The iconic heroin chic era got its name from the fact that the supermodels were so malnourished that they needed hard substances to keep doing their work. Not everyone can afford this lifestyle. In Western cold countries, it's considered beautiful to have a tan skin because it's a proof that you can afford vacations at the beach. On the contrary, in sunny Asian countries, being fair is considered beautiful because it meant you can afford to stay at home away from the sun and not work outside in the sun. In the 2010s, slim thick was a trend because it meant you can afford expensive plastic surgeries like BBL and liposuction. Today's trend of extreme thinness is not a sign of the return of Y2K era, but it's a sign that plastic surgeries have become way too accessible to common folks. And what's expensive and inaccessible are Pilates memberships, medications like Ozempic. It's Hollywood's way to show that they have the money and power to access prescription medications for vanity. They can afford personal trainer and dietitians to maintain their figures. And today's era is somehow worse than the heroin chic era. As a Twitter user commented, heroin chic was less dangerous because at least we were openly admitting with the name that it was dangerous and negative. The same thing is now repackaged as a sign of cleanliness and health is so damaging. Since we live in a society, as bad as we want, we cannot escape the social norms and trends. But we all have to be more logical than emotional when thinking about our bodies because the body does not disappear after the camera says cut. Malnourishment injecting chemicals have adverse effects on the body. It can cause serious chronic illnesses and sometimes death. We need to learn to leave Hollywood behind the screen. and not incorporate into our daily life. We can also assume someone has eating disorders just by looking at their body. But when extreme thinness become more visible and celebrated, we can and need to criticize that. We need to be more mindful when we talk about someone's body, whether it's a celebrity or a normal person. We can call out the ugly without bringing the person down. And for ourselves, we need to aim for a healthy lifestyle and diet and not give in to the body trends. Because beauty is subjective and ever changing. But the adverse effects of these ever changing trends on our bodies can be lifelong. So let's build a healthy and body positive environment around ourselves that encourages good health over anything. That's it for today. See you next time.